come and take your seats so that we can start this most private sector investment.
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down to the river to pray.
Good morning. Great. The Honorable CS for Investments, Trade and Industry, CS Lee Kinyanjui. The PS for Investment Promotion, Abubakar Hassan Abubakar. Colleague representing the Governor of Nairobi, the CC for Trade. Private sector captains from this great county of Nakuru. Hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. My name is John Mwendo. I'm the CEO of Kenya Investment Authority. I will be moderating this session for today. I also recognize some of my colleagues who are here from government, the CEO of Kenas, who is here, the CEO of Kenya Multi Commodities Exchange, Mr. Kirinda, who is here, the CEO of the Warehouse Receipt Council, Madam Komen, who is here, colleagues from Kenya Development Council, the CEO of the Kenya Leather Development Council, many CEOs from the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry who are here to make this event a success, and all of us here. Really exciting to be here, and you to Amen. Dr. Nu.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's pray. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. You may take your seats. Opening remarks. Let's welcome the PS with a good clap. Bwana PS, karibu.
Thank you very much, CEO of K Invest, Honorable Secretary of Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, Chief Executive Officers, County Representative, distinguished guests, Nakuru investors and businessmen and women, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my privilege to join you today for this Boresha Kenya, organized by the Ministry of Investment. Economy. In doing so, we have 4 strategies to attract investment, facilitate investment, enable investment, and retain. Our retention strategy, a program called Invest Aftercare Program. in this aftercare program that my boss under the has initiated this initiative called Boresha Biashara Initiative. To be addressed and we are here to hear more, to listen more to if there are other issues. Four major issues that come across that we are dealing with in our liquidity of the cash flow of businesses, and many businesses are what kind of programs that we have in government to address those. The second one, and the county level. At the national level, we've been having business reforms bill to address those regulatory issues, and this year we're also having another one to address. But at the county level, the president has already accented into a county licensing uniform procedure act, and the minister here has also sent or gazetted the county licensing regulation so that we can be able to address the county licensing issues. And the fourth issue is basically the general cost of doing business, from the cost of energy to the cost of capital and cost of taxation. The message here today, we are here to make Nakuru County a haven for investors and business, where regulatory issues are addressed promptly, administrative processes move with speed, and business disputes are resolved amicably, ensuring your investments flourish. It is now my honor to warmly welcome the Cabinet Secretary to deliver his official remarks. Karibu Waziri, Karibu Nyumbani. I'm told this is supposed to your home.
Thank you very much. So, Hamjambo watu wa Nakuru. Good morning. First, accept our apology. I think we are a little bit late. We planned to start a bit earlier, but due to other exigencies, we overran our schedule. But nevertheless, we are here. So my team here, led by the PS Abubakar, County Invest Mwendwa, start at home. And for purposes of today, we will listen to you, but maybe I'll take just about 15 minutes to highlight some of the things we are doing, what we have already achieved, and what opportunities lie moving forward. And I can see familiar faces here. So, allow me to start with what is not working. Isn't it fair to admit what is not working? Because it's true, not everything is working. And I'm yet to find a country where everything is working. So I want to start by saying, first we have a youth problem. The rate at which our universities and colleges are churning out graduates out there, and the rate at which we can absorb them, there's a gross mismatch. So every ago. But the truth is, with every passing day, the problem becomes bigger.
What we can do now is the responsibility of you and us to craft a way forward, because this is a Kenya problem. This is not one government or a county. This is a national problem. The second issue and the thing is the cash flow, as the PS has alluded to, is not quite where we would want it to be. Meaning that a lot of people, I owe you, you owe the other guy owes the other guy, so there's a bit of a challenge there. And therefore the question is, what can we do about it? I think with respect to that, maybe as a nation, when COVID came around 2020, 2021, later on now when we had our elections in 2022, I think the nation moved as if COVID had never happened. So we did not admit that there was a whole 3 year where there were challenges that we needed to address, and we moved on with everything as if COVID never happened. Yet COVID, especially for the hospitality sector, was a big blow. So I think there are certain missteps that we did, that we needed to take a back step, maybe ensure that there's sufficient cash flow before now we can embark on a big, sort of expenditure and so on. But having said that, we also have a big issue of pending bills, both at the county and at the national level. At the county level, I think all we have done is to work together with the COG precisely to urge also the counties that let's not procure what we cannot pay. Because we have sent many Kenyans to an early grave. Because you told them to make a bridge, a road, supply, but you did not pay, and they had mortgaged their house. So, and the same with the national government. But I want to confirm that this year, we had set aside about 80 billion shillings through the national government, and I think for the major road projects already the payments have begun. Now, what happens with the economy is that you don't expect an immediate U-turn. Maybe in the next, 4 months from now, we will start to see the liquidity going up. The other issue that has also affected the liquidity were the interest rates. So you're aware that in the last maybe 1 year, our interests had gone up to 19 and almost 20. But I'm sure we have bankers here. They are gradually coming down. We were at 14. And in the last round table we held with the bankers together with the private sector, we also agreed 14 is still high. So we expect it to come down. And it's good to note that the interest rates affects the appetite of the private sector to borrow. So if you're at 19 or 20, nobody is going to borrow for purposes of building or expanding their business, and that also curtails the potential for growth. So I think there are those broad issues that we are trying to deal with, but allow me also to talk about the opportunities. And I want to talk about the opportunity because I believe the role of business people is even where there's a problem, they are supposed to see that problem as an opportunity. So for the people of Nakuru, I think I've said this before, but I would also want to say it again, that the location of Nakuru is probably your biggest asset. Anybody who is going to Kampala, Upper Tanzania, even some of those northern countries, including Southern Sudan, Nakuru becomes a very critical place. And therefore, we believe, as we did even also in the past, that Nakuru occupies a special place. And I think this must also be seen in the context of some of the actions that the government is doing in recognition of that location issue. First one is that we are upgrading this road from Rironi, which is where the dueling ends, all the way up to Mau Summit. And it's going to be a four both sides. We are trying to see the potential of having a bypass below Naka maybe and that kind of thing so that we can remove the traffic of the main carriageway. And I think most of you who have used this road, you already know the surveyors are on the ground. So the target, the contractor has been told that before 2027, at least the road should be near substantial completion. So it will be started at multiple places, maybe Gilgil, I don't know, these sides of Joro, so on, so that it can run concurrently. Now, for those of you who are in business, you should be converting how many bags of cement we shall formally use here. You should be looking at what kind of fuel we are going to use to do this kind of road. Thika Road was only 40 kilometers. This one, how many kilometers, Mendo? 175 kilometers. So the last biggest project we did was the 40-kilometer Thika highway. So this is what we did then. And much of this is actually within Nakuru County. So in the interim, lots of business. And I think it's the responsibility of the county, together with the business associations that are here, to now ask yourself, how can you line up to also benefit from the construction? Not just to wait for the road to be constructed for you to ride on, but as it is being built. Our view is that part of that money should end up where? So there should be, because in our contracting, there's what we call local content. And that local content means somebody has a quarry, others are giving transport, others are selling cement and so on. So I think through the associations here, it is possible for us to ensure that the contractor has a sitting with you so that you can benefit and align yourselves given the areas that you're working on. But I think long term, after the completion of the road, I think this is really where the bigger conversation is. That I was in the ministry when we designed Thika Road. And I remember once I had gone to Githurai trying to explain to those people how Githurai would look like after the road is completed, because they used to have a market right across the road. So we were trying to tell them to move so that the road can be constructed there. So I particularly recall telling them where we were standing, 10 meters above, a road will be passing there. Those of you who are familiar with Thika Road know that that's exactly the situation in Thika Road. But everybody there was saying, it looked like a dream that would never happen. So today, if you go to Thika Road, that is the case. At that particular time, the average land price, say in Juja and those other places, was about 1.2,800,000 per acre. So today, for those of you who know those areas well, is nothing less than 20 million an acre. So that road completely transformed Thika to Nairobi. People commute now from Juja to Nairobi. Businesses, factories, industries. You saw recently, we hosted the Murang'a Investor Conference. Now, I think one of the areas with the highest demand for industries to go is actually that Murang'a Investor Conference. Why? Because of that road. In the south, go to Nairobi. You can go up, go towards Garissa. Now, that same magic is being brought where? Here. So I want to plead with my people of Nakuru. First, can we visualize how Nakuru will look like after the road is complete? The conferences that have been going to Mombasa and other places, because nobody wants to come through Gilgil with that kind of traffic, knowing some people have slept on that road. You can be there for 7 hours, you can be there for 10 hours. No worries, nobody wants to take a business to a place where they are not too sure what time they will arrive. So for that reason, if you're able to unlock that, I am sure I leave Nairobi, 20 minutes. I'll be in Sarova here. I will be in Nakuru. I want to tell you, the current hotels you have here will not be to meet even 30% of the volume that we shall be pumping here. So again, from a hospitality point of view, we need to ask ourselves, the Nakuru of post-2027, how will it look like? What kind of capacity will it require? What kind of conferencing facilities will we require? What kind of schools? Because also when you say that the population is increasing, we'll also require more schools, we require everything across the board. And I think one of the biggest challenges we have had is government coming to put a very big infrastructure project and the people have not aligned themselves to where the vision of the country in terms of that investment. And as you all know, for every investment, there must be a return. So the government is getting into this business on the understanding that there will be a return on business. We shall employ the young people. Our hotels will be full. Food demand for our hotels and all that will go up. So agriculture will thrive. So it's a whole cross-section. So if I was standing here as an investor, I would tell you, I would plan for Nakuru post-2027 when the road is complete. Because this area will change completely. And I only pray that for those of you in hotel and all these other areas, whether you're in education, whether you are in industry, it means you can now send your products to Nairobi in 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. In the past, you were never too sure when your cargo is going to reach there. Now, we have aligned that. The events such as the Safari Rally we have in Naivasha, now we can have more of those when transport solutions have already been aligned. So, I just want to say that this project is going to change, not just Nakuru. The impact of this is going to be felt up to Kitale and up to Eldoret and beyond. But before it is felt in Eldoret, where must it be felt? Where? Isn't it? So I think, and we must put it where it belongs, that it's time for people to plan. Government can do the road, but it cannot come and build that hotel. It cannot come and build that school. So we need to ask ourselves, what do we need to do? The county also to plan, and I think we've had some of these discussions, because currently the volume of traffic, say, into Naivasha is based on the current traffic numbers. So if tomorrow we do 4 lanes into Naivasha, it will be clogged the first few days. So we need also to expand our internal road networks, including right here in Nakuru, maybe also in Gilgil and all the other towns. So I think for purposes of planning, this is when we should also make sure that our urban centers are connected. But in short, for the people of Nakuru, the president has been very passionate about this particular project, but more importantly is you, because it has an immediate impact on your bottom line. And I want to tell you, by the time we finish, the value of land in Nakuru at the least will be double the value. So I think we need to work around that. Secondly, allow me to look at the interest we've been able to generate. Part of my role is to look for investors both in the country and outside. And the gentlemen who are sitting here with me, Abubakar is a PS, and the agency responsible for attracting is Keproba, and Madam Flois, who's come, welcome. Together with County Invest here for bringing investors. Now, I just want to say there's a very big disconnect. The kind of interest we have seen to invest in the country from foreigners is very high. 2 weeks ago, we visited with our team a factory in Kiambu that is a total of 55 acres, and out of that 55 acres, all of it is a factory. It's beacon to beacon. You need a vehicle to travel within the factory. We have another one in Kitengela, 200 acres coming up. So many times when we have gone out with the president together with his team, I think everybody wants to come to Kenya for different reasons. One is that because of the global geopolitics, it's easier to manufacture in Africa and sell to some of those countries. We have good labor, educated, we have internet, we have good weather around the year. We have all those factors that are lined up for us. So when we meet under international investors who want to come to Kenya, they are very upbeat. In fact, they don't ask too many questions. They just want to know, where is the land? Where is the policy? They are ready to sign in. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be signing up with a tire company, which is the 3rd biggest company in the world. It's the first time in Africa, and we are having very many companies that are coming to Africa for the first time. So I think that's a good thing. But I've been asking myself, maybe when you meet among what is the vibe? What is the thinking? Is it matched with what the others are thinking? I don't think so. I think there's a certain spirit that has been preached for too long, that things aren't working, that nothing is working, maybe nothing will ever work, and as a result of that, we shouldn't, be investing. Now, I want to say more so as a business person that there is no time when Kenyans thought that everything that is being done by government was necessarily the right thing. However, and I want to use my example in Thika Road. We did Thika Road, we had to demolish very many houses. Those of you who are that old will remember. And there was a huge outcry. But today when you go through this, do you remember the outcry or the outcome? What do you remember? It's the outcome. Nairobi now is connected. You can move from Westlands to here, you can move all that. So on Thika Road, in particular, there was a supermarket that was right on the road. And unfortunately, it also belonged to a friend who we were with in Parliament at that time. But it was difficult to have it and still have the road. So a difficult choice had to be made, and the supermarket was brought down so that Thika Road could be put. So the point is, there are short-term sacrifices, but in the long run, the outcomes will be what we want. So what we're trying to do now may have, short-term sort of issues, but I believe that if you're able to push to the very logical conclusion, we'll be able to see outcomes that are also consistent with our expectations. Now, when it comes to real numbers, allow me just to run a few. Let's use the currency, which is a good way of checking the stability of a country. So those of you who understand international relations, you are aware that of the biggest countries in Africa, think Egypt, think South Africa, think Nigeria, all those countries, even Ghana, even Egypt. All those countries have suffered a massive percent devaluation. In others, maybe 40, maybe 60. Now, what has happened to the Kenyan currency during the same period? What has happened? It has appreciated and stabilized at 130, when the South African rand has been hit right to the floor. So, I would say that is a good indicator that, yes, there could be something that we need to fix, but there is an indicator that we are headed in the right direction. Secondly, is the issue of interest rates, which I've already said. We were at 19, now we are coming to 4. I got there myself. There is a deliberate attempt to open foreign markets. And I want to start with one, maybe the UAE. The UAE is probably 5 hours by air, maybe 8 days by sea. Is our closest market. What we have, they don't have. And what they have, we don't have. So in short, they are a cash-rich economy generally because of oil. Whether you're thinking of Saudi and all those other countries. But we also have a weather they cannot match. We have land for agriculture, which they don't have. We have around the year sort of opportunities for tourism and everything, which they do not have. And therefore, following the signing of that agreement, the EPA, we have seen an increase in exports, especially for commodities that are required in the European Union. Recently, I met a gentleman called Kenneth from Kitengela, and he's growing pepper, chili, if you want to call it. So chili does not grow in necessarily the wettest areas. It requires a bit of dry. But the kind of demand they have to sell into those markets, they have to go to other countries to be able to meet their order. Now, I'm saying this in the full realization that Nakuru is an agricultural county. So again, if we look at the demand in those places, whether for live animals like sheep and goats that we are selling into that market, whether for the flowers, whether for anything you want to imagine into that Gulf market, I think the time for the Nakuru Business Association and all the others, for us to organize, link the markets with the people here, so that the lands in Joro and Molo, Kuresoi and all those places that are available. Actually, I think this is the only county where we are not in short of land. We are not in short of manpower. And even the weather is right. So whether it means people are going to contract or whatever they're going to do, and we are going to address the issues to do with capital, we think that Nakuru should be a key player in the export market. In the flower business, I think we are the leading, but we believe we can do something much more beyond the flowers. And we would want to connect you. I've said the two people who are here, their work is to connect. It's good to, because it's a networking session, to meet with Floyce or John so that we can be able to connect you. And even as we speak now, we are running an expo in Japan to try and open that market for our tea, for our coffee, for our textiles, and anything you want to imagine. So for any of the companies in Nakuru that may want that connection, I think we are here to establish that link. We have other markets, including the European Union, which is essentially like 7 countries. Germany, France, Spain, all those big countries. And again, the orders coming from there are very huge. And I'm saying this also to highlight to you that the issue of the youth unemployment is something within our reach. Because if we take advantage of all these opportunities that are there, and we look at the financing options that are available, and we have the right weather, we have the land, then I believe you will employ your 20 people, I will employ my 30 people, and together we can contribute towards resolving this issue. We also have the Chinese market. Now, the Chinese market is probably a 1.4 billion market. So even if they gave us the equivalent of 1 county, and they gave us orders from that, we would switch off our phone. Because it's like 140. A typical, what they call a province there is like 140 million people. So again, huge opportunities. Recently, I was in the hotel here, and I saw lots of tourists from now that part of the world. So already people are taking advantage of the new markets and opportunities that are coming up. So again, we would want to say out of the Chinese, a whole host of opportunities are coming up. And we'll be happy to connect, whether in whatever area you are in. They want to come here, they want to start businesses, they want to partner with those who are already here. Some of them are starting very big businesses, so they may need raw materials in areas where you can be able to connect. And I think this would be a good place to start the conversation. Now, you are aware that the president has been spearheading this discussion with Japan, with China, and I want to confirm that in the past, Kenya was attracting a tariff of 10% to sell into China. But Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, and those countries were getting 0. So we started a conversation this year in April to remove the 10% from Kenya. So our exports will go up because the 10% tariff to China is being removed, and we are now going to have a 0 tariff, 0 quota into a 1.4 billion population. So again, a huge opportunity that we would want all of you to work. Now, we have countries like Japan, where we mainly import a lot of the vehicles and machinery that we have in Kenya. You may be aware that the country is planning to raise a bond in Japan, and part of the bond, we are structuring it so that we can use part of the money to develop the auto industry. So what is the auto industry? Auto industry is anybody who is involved in the business of making a part or parts of a motor vehicle. Whether it's a spare part, whether it's tires, whether it's filters, whether it's seats, body, anything you want to imagine. So we will nearly be having almost 13 billion shillings that we can lend to Kenyans who want to get into that line of business. So again, with a line of credit of nearly 13 billion, I think that can completely change so that we don't have vehicles imported. Even the mat that you're stepping on is made in Japan. Even the side mirror, even the tires. So we would want, using this automotive policy, which we have already passed, to try and change our manufacturing policy so that part of those things can be manufactured here. I think some 4 years ago, I visited one of the factories here in Free Area, and they manufacture filters. So these should be the next big companies. And I think this is where people come together, see what it is you can be able to work, benefit from some of those programs that the government is providing, and together we can be able to make or bake a bigger cake. We will also be looking at areas of improving exports. So again, allow me we have this institution called KDC's Kenya Development Corporation. Currently, we are running a balance sheet of about 10 billion, but recently the president directed that we look for another 20 billion to put into KDC. Now, what is this 20 billion to do? Is for a hotel like Sarova, if they want to expand their hotel and they want long-term finance at a low rate, to go to KDC. And we lend, I think, at 10%. I think KDC people around here, yeah, they are here. So please feel free to talk to them when you live here. But I think also it's good I make it clear, although they lend at 10%, they expect you to pay. Isn't it? I'm saying that because it's important that after you pay, you are therefore eligible for more money. And I think that's really the conversation. And I have expressly told them, I come from Nakuru. I would want at least to visit a facility or two that are financed by an institution under us. So Kanyoro and all the good people who are here, please, can you plan? Remember we started by saying we are expanding the road and tripling the traffic. So as we triple the traffic, where are they going to sleep? Do you want homeless tourists? So we want them to come and to find your facilities so that you can be able to work on some of those opportunities that are there. Then we also wanted to mention about the African market. We have what we have already signed to called the Africa Free Trade Area. And that means you can manufacture here for the Rwanda market, for the DRC market, for South Africa, for Zambia. Now, when you look at that particular provision, and you look at the countries across the region, many of the countries have a very low manufacturing base. A country, say like Ethiopia, with a population of around 130 million people, their manufacturing base is small, which means a company from here can specialize in sending products to a country like Ethiopia or any other, and we have already said the funding is there. The government has secured the markets in terms of the trade agreements and all the other markets you want to look. Even the EAC, if you want to think all the way to Zambia and so on. And I think all this is simply saying that the answer to the problems we have are within ourselves. You know, I don't know how better I can put it. And I think this is really the conversation we need to have as Kenyans. That there's no problem we have that we cannot solve. And if some of these businesses are able to expand, employ a 30, a 40, a 50, soon you will require labor to come here. So I guess there are huge opportunities, and we have come here just to say, please, as you plan your tomorrow, plan with a positive note. And just for your information, I remember when I got into office, I think the second day there was very big news that, I don't know, CMC had closed or something like that. And then thereafter, we were discussing with the PS, there was a lot of stories that companies are closing from Kenya. So where were we being told they were going? Where? Tanzania. So then 2 weeks ago, what were we being told about Tanzania? What were we being told about? Why are they not being told to come back? So I want to tell you that from where I sit, first, there were no companies that were closing. Maybe like CMC, it was a corporate decision to exit Africa. And Africa is not Kenya. So companies from time to time will want to change their strategy, which is well within their policy. But I want to tell you, for every 2 companies that may have closed, there are more than 10 that are coming to Kenya. So, me as a business person, I would rather look on the positive side. I'd rather look on why things are working. And for me, when I look at the fundamentals, when I look at the stock exchange, those of you who are familiar with the stock exchange, currently we are having net inflows from outside. These are people investing from America, from Britain, and so on. Why? Because they have the opportunity to look at the whole world, from Singapore to India, Canada, but these are international funds, but they are coming to Kenya. So I think we may have our issues as we started with, but beyond the issues are opportunities. And the people to build and make Kenya work is who? It is us. And I'm particularly disturbed. I know at one time I was also a politician, but I would say, if you make a career out of making people depressed and making people believe that nothing is working, that the country is about, then that's probably not the best thing. And maybe even to go to a foreign country for a whole 2 months, from city to city, state to state, to say how everything is falling apart, I think that is the least would expect of any leader. And just for the sake of those of us who are here, when there are even allegations about a country, you are the one, about your own country, you are the one standing there to say they are true. I was there, I can confirm. Is that patriotism? No, I think that's probably the lowest we can be. We may have our political differences, but let us deal with them politically. But anyway, at the international level, if there are sanctions against Kenya, they will not spare anybody on account of where they come or their political orientation. So let us agree, there are areas to compete, there are areas to cooperate. When it comes to the image of your nation, it is in your best interest to put your country first. Even if I went and I was told, one of my colleagues here is, I would first say no and go and confirm whether it was true later. Because he's a Kenyan. So I think there's something we need to do, and also to take this opportunity to urge our people that if we drive the nation into a lot of negativity, then even us will be victims of the very same negativity that you're trying to plant. And I hate to say that I am going all around talking to big international companies. They want to come to Kenya. They want to partner with Kenyans. The Kenyans must also be ready to work together with the opportunities that are coming. And that's the purpose of our meeting today. I don't want to say much. I believe we wanted also to hear from you. The county is here, so if there are issues, even our security people are here. We would want them to be able to respond, even us to respond to whatever issues that you may have. And lastly, allow me to mention about our young people. I know recently when we had a few disagreements, we had an unfortunate incident of a supermarket in Barnabas, also another one in Free Area, and I think that is not, I don't know what to say, but I think it was the lowest, because those are the young people who are working in the same supermarket. So I'm just trying to say, if we continue allowing this culture of lack of respect for private property, then tomorrow nobody will be safe. The jobs we are trying to create will actually be losing even greater. So I think there must be a greater conversation, both with our young people, with the political class, with the counties, and everybody on what is best for Kenya. And I believe that the answer to that lies within all of us. I want to close by saying that among some of the agencies we have, County Invest, I've said a few, I think you'll mention all of them. And my request is for all of you who are here and have an interest in these entities, please get in touch with them. Get in touch with them with a view to see what can come out of it. If you need information, we have KEBS. We have about 23 of them. We have Kenas, we have Kirdi, where we are literally like taking you through the steps when you want to do manufacturing. Helping you understand what processes, what procedures. If you want to register your patent, again, we have an entity that is here to do that. So my request to the people of Nakuru is that let us work together Let us make Kenya, let us make Nakuru a better place. And I would not want to be the one who did everything elsewhere but forgot to tell our people. God bless you.
Thank you. Let's give another round of applause to Waziri. Thank you so much. CS, I cannot add or deduct from what you have said. I think we have all heard, and from the PS as well, thank you very much. Now, I will just, before we invite the business people who are here to just go through some of the sectors of the business community that is here from this great county of Nakuru. From the list, we have over the 200 plus participants. We have private sector people or business people from the horticulture sector, which is a bedrock of this county. We have people from the hotel industry and hospitality. We have people from the manufacturing sector, confectionery, Jazz Betty is here from the sector, dairy sector, edible oils, transport and logistics, steel sector, hospitality, construction, including paint manufacturers who are exhibiting outside, spare parts people, animal feeds, tech and ICT, leather, the retail sector, including people in the hardware sector, and many more. So that just shows you how many of you are in the room. So if you're a business person, just wave and show us by a hand. I have mentioned you. Even if I have not, just wave at us to show that you're here. Very good. Great participation. Also, I think it's fair for me to I will ask the colleagues who are CEOs of government agencies within the ministry just to stand up where you are so we can get to know you, so that the team know where they will. If you don't mind, please, colleagues, CEOs who are in the room. Very good. I think from that side we have Mr. Makateto from the Numerical Machining Complex. We have Madam Flois Mukabana, the CEO of the Kenya Export Promotion Branding Agency. You can wave. Madam Lucy Komen from the Warehouse Receipt Council. Mr. Fanuel Kidenda. We have Dr. Mbugwa from Anti-Counterfeit Agency. We have Bwana Ongeti, the CEO of Kenya National Accreditation Service. We have Bwana Nur from Kenya Leather Development Council. And
this is an issue that we would like that the national government addresses it very, very precisely. For us, it's actually more itching because we have geothermal from Naivasha all the way into deep sections of Baringo. I was doing my research yesterday, and we have 10,000 megawatt potential of geothermal energy. And this is not yet fully exploited. And then inversely on the other side, the cost of power keeps going up. The quality of supply, again, is erratic. So it doesn't make sense that you put up industry and at the same time you are placing an order for a 5-6 megawatt generator. You know, essentially you should be able to build your industry and plug into the grid, and you're getting it at a very cheap rate, maybe even 5 US cents or less, so that therefore we can be able to compete competitively. Again, on energy, there's a time we were investigating, and there's something called green hydrogen. And I was recently watching a video from China. What China has done is that it has invested greatly in green hydrogen for the long haul trucks. So for Nakuru here, we produce a lot of things that we ship across all the way to Mombasa. So they have made it sort of like a policy that once you produce green energy, which now we can do through geothermal, then you have that green hydrogen fueling these trucks. So you also achieve the triple bottom line, you know, people, environment, profit. So this is something also we would like to be seriously investigated, so that we have, because we already have the resource with us here in Nakuru, why don't we do that? For institutions like Sarova here, the GM doesn't know, but we are having engagements at a very high level with the Sarova group, still on the same issue of using hydrogen, because they were telling us the expenditure of power is about 5-6 million per month. So how do you expect this hotel to compete globally against other global chains? So energy, we need it to be addressed, and we want the advantage of having geothermal in Nakuru coming to us. Something else very, very critical is that financing. And when I say financing, I'm not speaking of 20-30 million. Association, just Nakuru Business Association, we have investments beginning from 300 million all the way to 3 billion. We've been looking for money for the last 2.5 years. We cannot get 300 million. Where we get it, we are getting at what those rates, 14-15%. Now, there is no way you can put in 2, 3, 4, 5 billion and you have to pay 14%. So would like to challenge further that leave alone the 10%, we want access for substantial capital investments. We want access at around 6%. So that then the businessman can be able to invest comfortably, have a good ROI, and the business becomes sustainable. So financing, we still have a major challenge right there. Then something very interesting, and will require, I think maybe even an order can be issued here today. We try to get appointments for the special economic zones. We write the email, we are told write email to Nairobi, write email where, call who. It takes 1.5 months to get access here to Naivasha. 1.5 months, and I'm here in Nakuru town, Nakuru city. So, and we have members who are ready. We have, some of our members are actually servicing Tesla. They're servicing Apple, doing the AI programming, and they need to shift. They need to upgrade now into the special economic zone so as to benefit from the tax breaks and be able to compete with the other BPOs globally. So we need access to those special economic zones so that then we can take off. Additionally, and this is just, I'm getting a brainwave right now, is that also we're having development of data centers. And I was just wondering, since we have the energy, because they're high consumptive whatever energy, why don't we get, I understand there's a small data center coming in Naivasha, but yes, but we have another one here right here in Menengai. Why don't we have another data center put here so that our young people, because I understand during the construction, it takes almost about 600-700 technicians to put up a data center. You can imagine the ripple effect of these young men who experience putting up a data center. After it is complete, they come out into the open market and now share the experience with the rest of the other young people. So creating a ripple effect and creating a whole industry of data center technicians is just an idea. Then, very fundamentally, we have security. Every day, we are getting reports from our members. If it is not the go down, it is the shop, it is the outlet, it is the truck, either broken into or stolen or something. Even recently, personally, there were some items I required from one of the major machinery suppliers. He told me, Wilson, I can't get for you the items. The go down is under police seal until we finish investigations. Security has become a major issue across the county, and not only here in Nakuru City, Naivasha, Njoro, you name it, including people going to work early in the morning. And early is not 4 a.m. I'm talking about 6:30. So if our workers cannot feel safe, maybe you have a shift system and you want them to report early, and they are saying, Mukubwa, I cannot report because our area 1, 2, 3. Including now in the evening, the feedback we are getting from our members is that especially for the ladies, promptly 5:30, 6 maximum, the lady must be on her way. If she's not on her way home, then you have to make special arrangements how she will be dropped. So security has become a big issue, and there is a big gap that we want addressed, so that then we can have a free environment and we can be able to have the 24-hour economy. Last but not least, because I'm sure we'll still talk about much more other things, is that there is no serious investor who will spend 3 hours on this road. Even I'm sorry, okay, sometimes I'm a bit radical. Even the 1 hour that we are going to achieve in the next 3 years, we urgently require an airport in this city. Urgently. Personally, you know, me, I don't speak mbali. Watu wa biashara, we go straight. We just do simply is Nairobi, Masai Mara, Mombasa, Malindi, give them a touch of Kisumu, wind up in Nairobi, out. So you see, we are losing out. Another very key thing also, again, in terms of airport, is that it creates a very strong, robust micro economy. Taxis, hotels, markets, curios, you name it. So this airport, we want it very, very urgently, so that then we can transform the entire Nakuru County. With those very few remarks, asanteni sana. I hope I've captured, and we'll continue to talk much more. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilson. On behalf of the Nairobi Business Associations, I have written down 6 points, and I'm sure. Nakuru. Nimesema wapi? Good. You are alert. Very good. Nakuru Business Association. The 6 points are all noted, and I'm sure we'll get to answer them. And I like that everybody is alert. I hear all your members must have been a position consolidated. So we will get to now hear from Madam Whitney Maina, who is a representative of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. And then I will get the chair of the chamber here, and then Nakuru, and then we can finish. So let's put our hands together for Madam Whitney Maina. Madam, karibu.
CS Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, Principal Secretary of Investment, Ababakar Hassan, CEO of Can Invest, John Mwendwa, fellow members of business community, NBA, KNCCI, hotel owners, and all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Oh, it's still morning. So sorry. I thought we were still here already. Yes, first of all, I would like to thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to have this roundtable meeting, because we have so many issues as manufacturers in Nakuru, and we're just happy that you've given us an ear. Thank you so much, Wilson. You've addressed all our challenges. Literally, you spoke all the points that I had to bring here. I would like also to commend the CES for acknowledging that there are some issues we are having, like lack of funding in this county. The airport also is a big factor to us. Maybe the only one thing that I would like to echo to what Wilson has said is we would like Kenha to give us the designs for the Maurironi Road so that we can see the diversions because of trucks issues. We've been asking for it from the members of Kenha for the longest time. If we can get the design in advance, there are factors that affect our members, like where the diversions of the roads, how the trucks go, because we need to also offload and stuff like that. So we would, I don't know who, if we have a representative of Kenha who can get back to me on the same. Yes, and also something else I would like to say is please, to echo again what Wilson said, we need the airport as soon as possible. The business in Nakuru, we cannot say we are a city if we don't have an airport. It's affecting a lot of factors, the money circulation, traveling, even investors are afraid to come here because we don't have an airport. Again, the security issue I think can be solved with proper lighting in our city. We have a lot of dark areas. We need proper street lighting. And yes, I guess that's it. Thank you so much. My name is Whitney. And if you want to join KAM, what we do is advocacy for manufacturers. We handle also policies. We intervene for policies changing in Kenya. We bring market linkage and networking platforms like this.
Thank you. Kenya Association of Manufacturers confirms that indeed Nakuru is a manufacturing county, correct? So you're doing manufacturing here and those issues are very well noted. Let me now invite the chairperson of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Nakuru County, Madam Ndungu. Let's give a hand to Madam Ruth Ndungu. The gender parity in the business community in Nakuru is well covered. Thank you so much. Let's give another hand. Karibu, Madam. Take your time.
Yes. The CS, Honorable Liki Nanjui, and I ride on all the protocols. Good morning and Bwana Asifiwe. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate this moment to have you all here and to have this conversation. I want to support and echo what my fellow leaders from the NBA and CAM has mentioned, but for me is to address the issue of financing and opportunities for women and youth. Here you've mentioned of what has been happening with our young people, but with the research and the conversation we've had with them as KNCCI is that they're only looking for opportunities. And I will give an example to one of the companies in Nakuru that the youths can also learn from. Tiankara Creations, they are here. And that's a third generation company that has the grandmother, the mother, and the young girl who has shown that young people can do something in this country. They are energetic, they are learned. All they need is mentorship from the companies that have gone ahead of us and also financial support. The other one is on women. I'm mentioning these two because I know these are areas that we've really engaged, that we are talking about investors. Some of us have properties, but we don't have the financial muscles to invest on these properties. And some of them are also on along the highways that we are talking about. So if we can have that engagement on how to get partnership with the investors that are coming into the country, that will be a great deal. This is to all the special groups, youth, women, and persons living with disability. Lastly, what Whitney has talked about is the map from where the highway is coming. We've had people asking, where is what going to be? You've talked about the Thika superhighway, what some of the businesses that were affected. So that is one of the areas that is scaring off investors in Nakuru, knowing that the highway is coming, but they don't know what to expect and who will be touched and who will. So thank you very much. KDC are also good partners. We've about machineries, and I have members who have benefited from that program, and still we are getting more asking machineries to put up. Resident of Nakuru County City, and from Naivasha, I can tell you there are a lot of opportunities, private EPZs, and so again, we need to be engaged on those tables to know what is there, because sometimes you don't want to be so loud as an investor to go out and say what you're looking for, but we are able to give that information on what is happening within our city. Otherwise, this has been a great moment. We appreciate and we look forward to more engagements like this. God bless. Sorry, my name is Ruth Ndungu, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chair, Nakuru County. I know people are expecting somebody else, but due to his position as Honorary Councillor, he had to resign and go to the top. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give another hand, Madam Ruth, Nakuru Chamber of Commerce and Industry, KNCCI Chair. The last in terms of the groupings, before we get to hear from the county and then the CS to guide us on the open session, let me invite Mr. Samuel Kanyoro, who is Nakuru Hotel Owners Association Chair. Let's give him another hand, please. There's a big sector he represents. Bwana Samuel, karibu sana.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you have heard, His Excellency, CS Trade, Lik Nyajui, PS Trade, representative of the governor, fellow delegates here, hotel owners who are here, good morning once again. My name is Samuel Kanyoro. I'm a businessman in this town, hotel specifically. Those of you who are familiar with hotels in town, there's a hotel within Kemunyi, the name of Royal Green Resort. That's where I work. And recently, state of being a city, that is a big challenge. We are therefore requesting, as the docket in trade, that the issue of per diem be addressed again, once again, so that at least guests from, let's say, Nairobi to come to Nakuru as opposed to going to other places like Machakos or even Thika, because we are city, we need to enjoy the status of the city. When the city was founded, you remember even the rates that we paid to the government went up. But if you are paying high rates and you have nothing to show for the status, then I think that's unfair, and therefore we are asking the government to look into that. Then also, we have another issue that as an association of the hotel owners, we felt should be addressed by your office. The issue of marketing. As hotel owners, we feel we need to team up, to partner with the government, so that we get the market to come to Nakuru. For example, now, you told us that there is a lot of market in Asia, like for example, in Japan, not so much in our city, Nakuru. So can we have the government, the Ministry of Trade, partnering with the association, so that even if it calls for cost sharing, we can share, so that we can get that market, we get business in our Nakuru city. Because if we are not supported by the government, and if we don't have the business that will make, I think that will be a challenge. So we hope the rates for the park will be maintained at a level that can be afforded. Then also, we realized recently there was some adverts in the papers that music copyrights are supposed to add to levy payments to the hotels for the music. And the amount that we saw there was very high. So we don't mind this can be high, but if there is no business, then doesn't make sense. So maybe you can help us to ensure that that does not come to us. And finally, we want to request that very soon you'll be coming to Mr. Kijajui and your team, so that we can sit together and see what we can do as an association. We hope you'll be available for us when we need to talk to you. So with those few remarks, thank you very much, and I wish the forum will be good for all of us. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Samuel, on behalf of the Nakuru Hotel Owners Association. Let's appreciate him once more. Great. We will shortly go to the open dialogue where we will get some of you who are in the audience to also speak, who can ask some questions.
I'm Stephen Kure Muiruri, CC in charge of Trade, Culture and Tourism, Nakuru County. And it is my great pleasure to welcome all to us. And of course, the issue of street families is becoming a menace in our town, in our city. Therefore, that is an issue that needs to be handled by the relevant authorities. We are also here to clarify existing policies and regulatory processes, e.g. the cross-county levies, and I'm happy that the President has already ascended to the county unification license. I hope it is going to address some of these issues, because investors have really complained paying multiple licenses from Nakuru to even to our neighboring county here like Nyandarua and some of our neighbor. And by the way, we border like 8 counties. And when you move to the next county, you are supposed now to pay another license. I think that is very unfair to our investors. And unfortunately, or fortunately, many companies or manufacturers are based in Nakuru. Therefore, you find our Nakuru investors here are really at pain. And of course, the incentives as the special economic zone, I think we need to come out very clearly. That's an issue that I want to raise, Honorable CS, about the incentives under the special economic zone. We need to get a clarity on especially the energy rate, which is 5 shillings per kilowatt hour. We need to a good explanation to know whether that is true or not, because investors are confused in that area. The trade unification, I think that is a good thing. Her Excellency Governor Susan Keka has already implemented the trade unification in Nakuru County. Today, you don't have to move from one department to another seeking different types of permits. You only need to go and to one stop and get your license done. In Nakuru Town West. Thank you very much. God bless you. And then
give a coffee. Great. We want now to get to the open session. We get to move the microphone around. So the colleagues with microphones, please just position yourself. And kuna wale wameomba tayari wamenipatia kabarua kadogo waongee. So nataka kuanza na hao, ama wale nimeambiwa niwapatie. We will of course go around the room. So for a couple of minutes, then Waziri can guide us on how to address those sessions. But just before Waziri comes on stage to sit and we can do the open session, maybe we can have 2-3 comments from the first one is we can get to hear from an old boy of Nakuru who wanted to be last on stage, Mr. Jaswinda Bedi, who happens also to be the chairperson of
Honorable Lee Kinanjui. He's been our governor. He's an old Nakuru boy like me, and he's the second minister in the last 62 years who's been appointed from this county. So I think we owe it to His Excellency the President for him to be appointed the second minister for Nakuru in the last 62 years. And in the last couple of weeks that I've interacted with him, in the last couple of months since he's been minister, I also traveled with him to Japan. I've seen a total different change of approach and a total different commitment to where he wants to take Kenya and how he wants to lead Kenya. I think his speech this morning was amazing when he talked about what Nakuru is going to deliver as part of the big ecosystem. And yes, I know he's got a very tight schedule. He's flying out tonight to the US to actually go and negotiate our trade agreement with the Americans. And that's protecting $800 million of exports and 1,000 jobs in our EPZ. So Waziri, good luck with your meetings. Like if you pay a token, reverse fee because they're going back empty to Mombasa, I think we should take that opportunity up. And yes, so there's a lot of opportunity in this county and a lot of things that we can do. My family has been here for 93 years. I was born in this town. And the value proposition that we are putting on the table, I think, is unmatched by any other county. We are the only county who's fighting the entire Kenya ecosystem with green energy. Somebody talked about geothermal out of 10,000 megawatts. That's how the NBA talked about, but that is true. Are we marketing that green energy? We're the largest producers of floriculture in Kenya. That is $600 million. Are we chest thumping that we are the largest exporter? No, we're not. So I think let's change our negative paradigm. And we're 2.2 million people in this county. There's a lot of hope and a lot of promise. I know my time is up and I can talk forever when it comes to Nakuru because I'm passionately a Nakuru old boy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jazz, and for the positive sentiment on Nakuru County. Bwana Mushemi, if you may, you can come here, or we can bring the after him. Do we have some people who want to ask questions? We'll just make it simpler to put on the record, but let's put our hand for Bwana Mushemi. Karibu.
Greetings, first appreciation to the CS and everybody who comes with him, the PSs, the directors, we appreciate you coming to Nakuru. First of all, just to appreciate the fact that we have a meeting of this kind. So if you realize that business meetings are supposed to be frank, honest, and with people is very important. The reason is that our leaders have to come on the ground. The ground is us. And usually the communication is tunaongea kuongana mkubwa. And it's very hard to tell the mkubwa the truth if you are in a place that you're not feeling free. So we appreciate the business forum and we appreciate that people have to recognize Nakuru, and the Nakuru people are important enough to talk to the leaders directly, and they're given a free mic or a free time to talk to people. That's the first thing. So we appreciate that very much. I think the one thing that we have not talked about, the elephant in the room in doing business, not only in Nakuru and in Kenya, it is corruption. Corruption has really made it very hard. Now we're talking about corruption national, Bonas County, my friend, and county. That has slowed down our business. It's been very hard doing business. It is extremely difficult if you're trying to be an honest business, an international business, and you're trying to maintain quality. That is become an elephant in the room. So in the trade sector, from all the development partners, if we don't address that, it's going to be an issue. Right now, the government is going through a new procurement process, which we have to register. And one of the things we noticed in that e-procurement business is that they're trying to limit the profit margin or trying to markup to about 20%. Now, for us who want to be honest, it might be very good because it means that I won't have unfair competition on the markups that we're talking about. But it might also limit what is happening. The new e-procurement protocol that's going to come is difficult and tough, and it will be one of the challenges that we'll have as Nakuru. So, Bonatrade, CS, and everybody else who is here, if you're not on the portal, you don't get procurement from the government, and the government is the single biggest business partner with anybody. That is something that we have. On that matter, it's a matter of policy. This goes to the county and national government, and I always say people in Nakuru, county affects our lives much closer than national sometimes. The notice of policy. We believe that policy should be a long-term thing, not a short-term. So priorities are very important. I had Bonabedi talking about utilities. Let's be specific. In Nakuru, water is an issue. It's been raining. Itare Dam has stagnated for the last 5 years. That was supposed to simplify, it was supposed to be the solution to water supply in Nakuru. It will stop. The rains have been wonderful the last 2-3 years. But what happens when that stops? We can't have industries that don't have water. Itare Dam. We had an airport, utility. We had an airport ongoing. It was allocated I remember before Bona government, it was allocated 450 million at Lanet. It has stalled. We must have policies which are continuous. And we're challenging the county government, and any county government from Her Excellency Susan Keheka or whoever comes next or before, whatever policies were put in the previous, at least finish them. We have a fish market in Naivasha which is stalled. We have a few things which are stalled. We're saying we must have policy and policy moving forward. Once the policy is done, let the policy work for the people and make sure it goes through the whole process, not halfway through the whole process. And as we said, what is ideal for us is to finish the projects that we're doing and get a return on investments. As business people, it is very good you know that the policy for dumping is this. not in the middle of the policy for dumping, especially as the construction, we are told a different policy. Yeah? So that is really affecting. I know all industries, from dairy to agriculture to farming, to construction to manufacturing, policy has really affected us. The other thing that we said, and it's challenged, we have talked about the airport, we've talked about the road. We actually have a railway line, SGR. For the guys who know about tourism industries, hotel industries, the flow to Mombasa nowadays on SGR on a weekend is incredible. It's incredible. Flow for us business is also incredible. When I was a chair for an MBA and when we were in CAM, I was a vice chair for CAM, one of the things we've kept fighting was this. We don't understand the logic why we have a higher population, a higher development criteria in Nakuru. We were the fastest growing town, not in Kenya, but in Africa. And yet, the biggest investment in Kenya was bypassing us. That to me was not fair. It is not right, and we complain about it. From Nakuru, Eldoret is one of the biggest markets. Why isn't it not passing through here, Eldoret, Kisumu? Why is it passing a primary agricultural area? We are bigger exporters in Nakuru, as Bwana Just Bedi said. We want containers going backwards. Unfortunately, agricultural products in other areas are raw materials used in Kenya. So if you're doing maize, we don't export it. We use it here. But we're doing flowers in Kenya, in Nakuru. We are doing textiles. We want more industries, and this is a better place for it. So one of the pressing things that we said, if you want to solve Kenya's problems, Nakuru is a solution because we have a higher population and we attract all our neighboring counties. Nyandarua, Kericho, Baringo, all of them. This is their base. This is their hub. So just to finish off, I'll just say is that it's a challenge that somebody said, Lake Nakuru is one of the biggest resources. I remember when Governor used to speak Kitambo, he used to tell us there are 7 lakes. Is it 7 lakes in Nakuru? 6 or 7? 6. So apart from Lake Nakuru, we have a lot of unexploited lakes and unexploited opportunities. As you said, even us as Nakuru, it's not only lakes. Asgas have potential. We have land, we have skill, we have knowledge, and most importantly, we have goodwill. At least our guys are now in the top league somewhere. You know, it's important when your people are here. You know, at least Kinyanjua can pick to him and hey, Kumkubaya, yeah? And we appreciate all the people who are working with us so far in all the, from security to Nini. We even have their numbers. Trust me, there are places you can go, they don't talk to you. They're bigger than you. These ones are always with us. So I appreciate that very much. Asanteni sana. And for the new people who are not here, always come to Nakuru first.
Thank you, Bwana Mushemi. Wow. I think we have really had a very good download, and we will still do more. I know some of you want to ask some more questions, but allow me, CS, at this point to really welcome you on stage, to just have a seat here. Either you'll guide on how to respond to some of the issues. We are proposing to have you joined by Bwana Wilson from the Nakuru Business Association here, and of course PS Abubakar, and we will call a representative of KDC who is here representing the institution just to sit in, and then we can then do the first part. Waziri will speak to some of the issues and guide the conversation, and then we'll of course do the microphone. So if you have a question, your time is coming. I think we have had a very good session. So Waziri, I don't know. Yes, Waziri, karibu. Let's put our hand for Waziri, and somebody can take this podium out. PS Abubakar Hassan, please karibu. Waziri, you can sit. Bwana Mushemi, you need to come because you represent the private sector. Come and you can sit here next to, you can sit in the middle there. Karibu, karibu. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, maybe when the questions, we will do a hot desk. So, Waziri, we can give you the first hand because you've been listening and you can respond to the comments.
Okay, so thank you, John, and together with all the others who've spoken before me, I think on issues to do with the special economic zone and all the incentives, Abubakar will address those issues. County issues, Korea had already talked about those. But I just wanted to emphasize on a few things that I think are extremely important. Abubakar mentioned about county competitiveness. In other words, counties across Kenya are competing. There's Mombasa, there's Kilifi. And for any company that wants to come to Kenya, the first question they'll ask is, yes, Kenya, but where in Kenya? So that's where the issue of competitiveness comes. And so counties that are efficient, information is available, systems are clear, will tend to attract more business. And I think this is really what we must say. Some of you, especially in the hotel industry, you may want to imagine the devolution conference that is ending in Homa Bay. If it had been held here or Baringo or anywhere else, you would literally not have any space for a whole 1 month. So these are very important aspects of investment, and I think we need to ask counties to be in the front line. The issues addressed by the business community, whether they are security or whatever it is, so that we can continue to attract more businesses. And I think that, I don't know how better we can say it, because we believe that investors have a choice. They can go to Meru, they can go to Baringo, they can go to Kisumu, they can go to Kajiado. So for Nakuru, I think the point is issues that are raised, we try and see how we can address them, including the roads, among other issues that have already been mentioned. We also need to look at the issue of business incubation. We normally say that a lot of the businesses that start as SMEs, if they are taken care of, they will eventually transit to become the MSMEs and later on to become big companies. Jaswinda, who spoke before me, his first generation parents were tailors around Kenyatta Avenue. And today, they're exporting big to the US market, one of our biggest companies owned by a local. So we must take care of the small companies so that tomorrow they will no longer be small, but the big companies of tomorrow. So the issue of business incubation becomes important. And it's for we have requested for from terminologies such as Jua Kali to MSME, because they really show like you are stuck there, you are born there, you will die there. But we need to show that this is just a phase before we get to the next level. And some of the institutions like KDC are here to help you in the journey to transit to the next level. Joint marketing, I think this one was said by Kanyoro and the team here. We will work together. I will also get the tourism, the Kenya Tourism Board to come here, sit with the hotel owners, agree on a strategy, and if there are resources that are required, I think we can be able to work together. Now that is what we call destination marketing. Because if your hotel is full, if people come to Sarova and it is full, they'll go to the next hotel. The driver will sleep in another hotel. So once you market the destination and there's positive outlook around it, then everybody begins to benefit. So it is not, we can't always market as an individual hotel. There's a time when now we need to get to the next level, which is what you're calling destination marketing, and we have huge opportunities. I have mentioned that traditionally, our visitors have come from the US, Britain, English speaking, but you're now seeing that the Far East countries, including China, are taking a very serious interest on the Kenyan market. So again, when you're making some of the marketing drives in those countries, or when they come, we would want to send them here so that you can have a discussion with the travel agents and some of those other people. Park charges. I think this is a very serious matter. Recently, when we met some Japanese tour operators, they cited this as a top issue. Because if you compare Masai Mara, say, and Serengeti across in Tanzania, the cost has really gone up. So if we make our parks beyond a certain number, then we will make our destination expensive and therefore uncompetitive. So we will be working with tourism to look for sustainability, looking at numbers that are enough to cater for the costs, but are also not segregative in terms of stopping other people from coming. On music, copyright, and other costs, I think one of the areas we have been having a big problem is, different agencies, they come, they slap a fee, another one slaps a fee. So we are trying to work with our investment experts to see how we can have like a processing of this. Because if you allow every agency to come and charge all the fees, then businesses finally become uncompetitive. And I think we are already dealing with that in another area of export, and I think we can extend it to some of those issues. On Itare Dam, I think we are at a technical level. I think the contractor who was given became bankrupt, but we have moved forward to reassign to another one. There's good progress, but we still need to push for it because a city can't grow without water. So water is critical. And I couldn't agree more that we need to invest more to make sure that the water is available and is the right quantity, and so on and so forth. In closing, I want to assure you of our commitment to solve some or part of this. But I am sure even if we solve this, others will come. Is it true? Is it true? So when you want to start jogging or to start exercise or anything, even if you have slippers, get started. Isn't it? So I think all I'm trying to say, as long as some of these things are in the right hands, we should know that something is happening, but we shouldn't wait until they happen for us to move forward. And once again, I want to emphasize on the issue of marketing Nakuru and Kenya by extension, and saying that when we go out with some of our colleagues here, one of our biggest issues is to portray Kenya in its best. Because the people who come to even to your hotels as tourists probably have never come to Africa. Maybe they think the whole of Africa is made of houses with thatch, what do you call this, mud houses. So we need to tell them it's a good place, it's a safe place, there's internet in every village, the roads are connected, the people can speak languages and all those other things. And together we can be able to create a positive vibe about our country, our city, our county. And I think that's how really we can move forward. And for the institutions that are here, I really want to urge all of you who are here and you have an interest in any one of them, please don't leave before you have a conversation, exchange numbers, and possibly let's see how we can move together. Thank you.
Thank you, Waziri. On my part, I think on the issue of in the energy space, our vision basically is on availability, reliability, affordability, and greenability of our energy. So on the issue of greenability, we are already 92% green energy, and we have commitments that we want to take it to 100% by 2030. But on the issue of availability and reliability of energy, which is a problem, we had that a freeze or moratorium on the power purchase agreement, which the cabinet has lifted, but it was still imposed by parliament. And you had the president last week. He said now we have to continue with the power purchase agreement, and you will see now lots of investment which are in the pipeline to be able to generate a lot of power so that it can be more available and reliable. On the issue of affordability of power, what we are doing to make sure we are reducing the cost of power, one is on the time of use policy, where you can use the power at night, which is at a lower rate, lower tariff. But we know there are some conditions there which the private sector have raised. We want to see how we can manage that. But most importantly, for us to get a lower tariff for power, we have shifted from grid to off-grid. So we are encouraging investors and businessmen to go captive power, so that they can generate themselves and use it for themselves, or generate for a certain business community or an industrial park. The next issue is on the financing cost. in terms of our economic environment, we boast ourselves with stable and strong macroeconomic indicators, stable exchange reserves, stable exchange rate, lower inflation regime. And now you can see the interest rate are going down because the CBK rate are still going down. What is still not happening is the transmission of that lower cost to the businessman. So we're working with central bank and the banks to come up with a methodology, a uniform methodology on how that lower interest rate regime can be transmitted to business people. But in addition to that, we have development finance institutions like KDC, which the president last week he had said that he will enhance its balance sheet, which this KDC gives capital at a lower interest rate. It is 10 and below. It falls under me, so you can come directly to me and you'll be able to get an appointment immediately. However, if your issue is to be gazetted as an SEZ or an EPZ for a BPO, you don't have to go to the Naivasha SEZ. We are going to gazette you wherever you are. The law allows us to, for BPOs, we can gazette wherever you are as an EPZ. The fourth issue was on machinery financing. This still you can get from KDC because their main focus, they can finance different sectors, but the main focus is tourism finance and industrial finance, where they finance the purchase of machinery. And currently we have an alliance with Indian Exim to purchase of machinery and equipment from China, from India, and it is at a lower interest rate, and the line has not yet been exhausted. We still have $10 million which has not been used. So if you want to purchase machinery from India, you can go to KDC, you'll be able to purchase them at a lower than 10%. The fifth one is on incentives of 5 shilling in the CESA program, whether they can be, it's not accessible. So the problem here is this, why we had put 5 shilling is for those manufacturers who's in the cost per unit of production, the energy part is highest. So what we were targeting manufacturers which use a lot of energy, not any company that wants to access the 5 shilling. So if you want to access it, you have to access it at 120 kV, not at 33 or 66, because we were targeting manufacturers with high energy input. Otherwise, if we are targeting any other person, even if we reduce your cost of power, but in your cost per unit of production, if that is only 0.00 something, it will not reduce your cost of production. But there are certain manufacturers where in their cost per unit, energy is, for example, 60%. So if you reduce that, then their cost of production will go down and they will be competitive. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we allow us for KDC representative to make just a minute remark on financing.
Good afternoon. For Kenya Development Corporation, we are positioned to provide affordable to all. For the purposes of the Nakuru County and the business people presented, I want to state that your business needs are well aligned with our product profile. There's still a relationship between financing and ease of doing business, especially on policy and logistics, because even if we give you affordable capital and the ease of doing business is not there, that's why we are grateful to have the ministry work on those policies. And Mr. Jasuda Bedi used to work on the ease of doing business and using logistics. So specific to your needs, Nakuru County spreads across agriculture sector. We have solutions for value addition, post-harvest loss mitigation with manufacturing and the EXIM line of credit. We will help you get machinery from India. We give you a moratorium period to set up the plant, and that facility is at less than 10%. That one is specifically for agro-processing and manufacturing sector. If you come to the sectors that are upgrading from nano innovation and development, our manufacturing pool of resources is available for all across the manufacturing sector. So be it in textile,
be it in manufacturing of the motor vehicle parts. I've seen one local manufacturer who does from free area doing the same. We have that facility at least 12% or below. For the livestock value chain, because of the linkage, the 8 counties that you border, that are either ASAL, and you've got linkage to the leather industry and meat processing, we have the livestock value chain fat code drive at less than 10%, and it will help you be it in accelerating beef production because you've got beef shortage for export, and also the value chain that feeds into the same, and also manufacturing, be it leather. In tourism, we also have affordable capital for budget hotels. And here the specific reason for budget hotels, the effect of budget hotels is that they are set up everywhere and they provide direct market for food and employment to the people around that area. On creative economy and ICT, we have the same to take care of the youth and women. So the challenge that Waziri talked about youth, women, our ICT and creative economy products will help you from innovation, making it mature to the point of being a viable investment. Maybe the challenge of power consistency that Mr. Wilson talked about, so it has crystallized. So the other part is on that the ICT and innovation, and here we are looking at the pool of young people in the digital and creative economy to see to it that we facilitate them grow to be the big companies and they can utilize the digital superhighway to push in their business. So the funding process is equity or debt. That debt is structured in a way that we can facilitate your repayment based on your cash cycle and give you some moratorium period for you to recover and start generating adequate revenue. So we have our team here, we are available, and you're here to make sure that we provide the solutions that will help you achieve your maximum potential. But most importantly, please create sustainable jobs, pay above minimum wage, and do not participate in negative environmental impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KDC. We'll have just 2 more rebuttals. One, I will give a chance to the CEO of the Receipt Council on just some aspects of the work they do. Then the DCC will respond on the security issues, and then the audience can ask Waziri Madam Lucy. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you. Waziri, allow me to speak from here. I think I will address the issues for MSMEs, youth, and women in the Nakuru community. I'm also from Nakuru, and so that is why I have an interest. We need to position Nakuru as a commodities hub, because Nakuru, we have the infrastructure. We've been told the roads is coming to Nakuru. We have the train, so the road system, the train, the airport. The other blessing we have in Nakuru is agriculture. And so we have floriculture, tea, coffee, potatoes, oil crops. So for then Boresha Biashara for Kenya and to unlock Nakuru, we need to put up investments and we need to aggregate. So when the investors come, we need to aggregate. Along the railway line and along the new roads that are coming, we also need to have quality storage facilities, and those are cold storage facilities for potatoes and for vegetables and fruits. So the call of action is, we have the instruments. We have the instrument as government. So come we have this conversation, we position Nakuru as a commodities hub. You've already have KDC so that you can access funding. You have Keproba route to market, and I will come and certify your warehouses. I've done a few. We are working with Mauka farmers so that now when we are asking investors to come, then we know exactly how we can access the commodities. Waziri, we should also have commodities from Nakuru direct to the market. So if we structure our commodities, and it is us in this room who will do it. So I'm inviting you, we have this conversation, and there's money and there's business in the space. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We now have DC.
Our chief guest, Bwana Waziri, allow me to write on the protocol established. My name is Were Simiyu. I want to assure the investors people of Nakuru that security is in our hands. We are not where we are supposed to be. We are doing our level best. We have identified all hotspots and we have deployed. We want to assure you that your property is well taken care of, your life is well taken care of. We have neutralized those fellas, harassers, confirm and other criminal elements, and we continue to do the same. What we want to urge you as investors and business community of Nakuru, we want to work with you. Don't conceal, don't look at any criminal activity as a small thing. Please work with us, report to us, and we'll act accordingly. The CS was here recently for Interior, and he has created more administrative units and assured us of mobility for all our security agents. We are going to improve on security, and we are confirming to you that we all target to make Nakuru a 24-hour economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DCC. Now, the floor is open. We'll be very sharp. Ask your question short, direct, from any part of the room. We can take them in batches. The first three, I'll do this side, the lady at the back, this gentleman, and that, those three, or four, or five, but very sharp. One question each, please, if you don't mind. Please, you can take the microphone. This side, then the other side first. So let's just do a quick balance.
Our CS and all protocols observed, good afternoon. My name is Ruth. I'm here representing Garment Makers Association of Kenya. I've heard people talk about different sectors, different industries, but none has touched about the fashion industry. Now, when Waziri began speaking, he mentioned cheap imports. Now, that has been a major hurdle in this fashion industry. Now, I would like to know if we have like policies regulating the importation of these cheap imports, because they are really affecting not only the growth of our fashion industry in terms of employment, it is also affecting our environment in terms of pollution. And number two, the fashion industry is one of the key players in our economic sectors, but it has been sidelined for most of the time. What have we done, or what are we doing to really put into place? Because this is one of the economic sector that can really create employment for our young youths that can really relate to fashion.
Okay. Thank you. Asante, the gentleman here. Let's make it very sharp, direct questions so that we can take a few more. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Mine is not a question really, it's an issue that was raised to the minister by the chairman of Water Association regarding per diem payments to civil servants. If a policy can be developed to deliberately enhance per diems for the cities, because Nakuru we are a city, yes, but the benefits are yet to be visible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There was a last gentleman at the corner there. Then we go. Anybody on that side? Okay. Those three hands and we finish.
Good afternoon. CS, allow me to ride on the established protocol. My concern is based on the e-procurement. As I think that's the elephant in the room, it is a policy that has been now being implemented. But the CS, I'm very much concerned because all these counties of 47, we have different work license permit for the counties. And we need a barcode that can really detect a fake license and non-fake license for that platform to work properly. So now, it's already ongoing project, and each and every county has got its own license without this, a common standard of a barcode to check. For example, the IPRA has got the centralized where the license is one, where you can check all the NCA, the license for the construction guys to know how it works out. I believe that we know the standards. When you come up with the standards and regulation and then it's come to a policy. Mm-hmm. And it is a challenge because already, it is already on. If you check the portal, there is no tenders on the portals because the implementation is still challenge enough. And another elephant in the room, I think my boss, Nakuru chairman, talked about energy. Energy is an elephant in the room because with the energy, if the cost of energy is down, then the business definitely will work well. Okay. I think where we are, in your docket, we can do a reverse engineering in a way that now we are talking. Do we have a data? Do we have a document? So I'm requesting your department to come with 2 or 3 a research proposal on how we can work on a resilient power system. That was basically the term resilient power system. Because in the management, we only use the resources that you have. Now the power that we have, and the quality we are talking about the shutdown, the outages that are too long, how are we going to work on them?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take on that side for gender parity. Yes, madam.
Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri, and all protocols observed. My name is Jadida Wairimu Kiplenge. I'm a farmer, I'm a Muguka farmer in Nakuru County. And my question is, why are Muguka and Mira traders unable to get licenses and KEBS certification despite it being a scheduled crop under the law? And what steps is your ministry taking to fix the same? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take the final one or final 2 on that side, then we will have time to network because I have to save Waziri's time for other contingencies. Yes, let's just be direct and sharp. Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. All protocol observed. So for me, this is, we are talking about marketing of Nakuru-based businesses. You find that we are really leaning so much on farming, hospitality industries, you know, the big industries. We have very beautiful products made in Kenya, based here in Nakuru. Some of us are doing a good job, I can guarantee you that. So what are you, or what measures are you taking, or how are you helping us market these products from Nakuru on a national level or even on a global level when you're traveling outside? You understand? That, like how can we get ourselves, or how can we position ourselves such that the limelight is not just in the city, but you can move even this side, and maybe like when you're doing the Magical Kenya activities and all that, our hampers, or rather the hampers can be Nakuru product, not just Nairobi product. Thank you.
Thank you. The final question, please, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much. The CS, Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, and all the protocol observed, good afternoon. Sir, my name is Sami Mwangi from Nakuru. When you are an MP, I receive a bursary. And it's helping me to continue with my education. And I've always seen you as a mentor in your leadership. We are now learning a pig farming business called Uncle Sam Pig by quality feed, improve pigs housing, and secure a big market. This will allow us to grow our production and create jobs for more youth in our community. Sir, what plan does the Ministry of Trade have to help small agribusiness access bigger markets and create jobs for the youths? Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll have the from the Chinese investor. Ribu.
Yeah, dear sirs, Honorable CS. So our company, we are currently operating a logistic company in the East African region for the past decade. So we have a new expansion into the e-mobilities in Kenya. So our project is planning to set up charging stations from Mombasa to Maraba along A104 and to A109. So our we have been working together with Kenya Invest, Kenya and Kenya Revenue. So our challenges is the compatibilities between Chinese standards in China and the regulations in Kenya, such as electricity connections and tariff. We're a bit confused because a few months ago the white paper announced for the e-mobilities is talking about EV charging posts supposed to enjoy the lowest rates of the electric connection tariff, and also how to go about the tax exemption on self-use materials, because our e-mobility project is planning to invest $300 million in along the road, along the highway. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. We hand over to you so that you can conclude for us.
Okay, so thank you. I think much of the things that have been said, part is for noting and action. But on the issue of cheap imports, we have our agency on anti-counterfeits, and the CEO is here. So part of the reason why sometimes we have cheap imports is because they are counterfeits, or they are not paying tax and such things. So I think using our counterfeit agency, we would want to get in. But I think we are trying to do much more to work on that. On the per diem, I think one of the hoteliers talked about that. I think this is the responsibility of the city governors from Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru, and Nairobi to put up a case so that it can be differentiated from the others. And even across the whole world, it's different. Government, if you travel to a country with a high cost of living from maybe another one, there's a differentiation. So they have a case, and I think that's what we would want to support so that there's a clear way of going around it. The e-procurement is to avoid the human interface, and I think this is really one area we would want to work. What I would request is that the government officers, especially in treasuries, to come and give a public awareness so that you also don't lock out people because they don't understand. So people can come, the business people, how do you participate, how do you register, and such like issues. On Mogoka, I think the KEBS people are here, do sit with Madam there, see how they can be certified, and if there's anything we need to do to help them, we would want that to happen. And I know Mogoka and Mirai, and I think all those other things we produce, I think it's also good to put it this way. We have traditionally killed products that are made here. Changa is seen like a very illicit and bad thing. The other one is busa, you know all those things. Yet on the same breath, from Tanzania and Uganda, they have actually cleaned their traditional brews, packaged them, and they are selling them here. From all those other big countries, they are also selling them here. So what we need is to train our brewers and the Mogoka people so that it can be clean, the information is there, and I think any industry can employ people. If you look at the alcohol industry in some of those countries, you'll be shocked. They date back to 300-400 years. So we would want to support you alongside others. There's a lady who talked about how do we help Nakuru to market, especially the small industries. I think what we would request is the biggest marketing that is lacking, in fact, even for the hoteliers. If you ask them how many of them have a website, how many are in digital marketing? Very few, very few. So if you're not on the web today, you're simply not in business. Those days when you would park a yellow taxi there and people come and ask you, those days are behind us. We are now moving more to digital marketing, and people who want to visit Nakuru, they will check the top 10 hotels, the top 10 movie places to go and all that. So if you're not on that web, you will not be there. So again, Kenya is leading in the tech space. Can we utilize our young men to put the companies we talked about? And the way the world is anchored today, a product can be produced here for Russia. It can be produced here for China or any part of the world. So don't limit your world to Nakuru. Don't limit your world to Kenya or stuff like that. The world is huge. The world is big, and we can all participate in it. For the gentleman with the pig farming, I think we will have a small conversation on how we can help them. And I think there is nothing better than people or young men who have decided on what they want to do, and they want you to help them to scale up. And we need to have examples like that so that they can be role models also for other young men. So I think we'll work with you together with KDC and other institutions. We see, other than just buying animal feeds, you can also produce the feed you're talking about. And these are the discussions we want to have. E-mobility, we are working on the policies. You know, this is a new area. But I think for the others who are here, did you hear how much they are putting into this e-mobility business? Mumesikia? 300 what? How much is that Kenya money? Eh? And maybe just to say, e-mobility sasa inamaanisha the vehicles that are on electric and you're moving from here to Kisumu, when you reach Nakuru, you need to charge it. So where would you charge? Do these hotels have those facilities? Do the petrol stations around the entire road have those facilities? So they are coming to put up that kind of infrastructure. So in future, even hotels and schools, even an apartment, if you put an apartment block, you'll be required to have a charging point, because the people who go to work and come in the evening would require to charge it. Now that may be a new thing, but is it an opportunity? Is it? So we want to support you, and government is putting up incentives. In Kenya, I think the total percentage of e-vehicles on the road is something like 3 to 5%. But in our view, in the next 2 years, we'll be at around 30%. So it is a growing area. And I think for our young people, for businesses, for hotels and anybody else, if I have an electric vehicle and I want to go to Kisumu, I will stop in the hotel that is compliant with my needs. I'll go to a mall where I can charge my vehicle. So again, an opportunity, and I think we'll get more time to discuss that. I don't want to say much on Kenya-China standards. I think through KEBS at the national level, we are already aligning that using, I think, the Chinese, the standards, and seeing how we can be able to work together. I don't want to say much. I think mine is largely to tell the people of Nakuru the time to work is, and the time to invest is, isn't it? When the time for politics comes, we shall deal with the politics of the day. But for the business people, my advice to you, you make your money in your business. Don't allow other people to influence you on your. Thank you.
Thank you, CS. Tumpigie makofi tena. By my clock, we haven't had a break, and we had wanted to be expeditious. If you still have a question, everybody who is here from government, by order of the CS, is not allowed to leave until you have addressed all the questions. I can confirm that, Waziri, that is a good thing, so that you can interact with them on the back of this. So I will ask us to do one thing, which is to ask Waziri just to be on stage here. The private sector organizations who are represented here, of course, the Nakuru business owners, the PS, of course, the CC for Nakuru County, and the Chamber of Commerce, Kenya Association of Manufacturers representative, just to stand here. Bwana Mushemi, Bwana Jaswinda, we take a photo for this moment. Then after that, we'll do national anthem in closing. Then we will, of course, open for networking and lunch, and we are here for you. Asanteni sana. So let's ask for those to come and take a memento photo. Thank you. Where's Bwana Mushemi? Karibu. Thank you very much. The final one is Waziri remains on stage, is the government CEOs and the PSU can remain who are here so that they get to know who they will talk to. So all the CEOs, government agencies and representatives, please come here. It's also ensuring the private sector people know who they will talk to. Karibuni, please come on stage. These are the people who you will be talking to during the lunch break. Karibuni. Wow, we are a lot, huh? Karibu. Okay. And these people here will answer their questions. Thank you. So let's all be standing for the national anthem. Thank you. I have three announcements. Number one, lunch will be served outside there. There is a Boresha cake that has been made courtesy of Woodlands Hotel, which the Waziri, you may cut as you leave. And the third is we have covered 35 issues in this session. We will keep a log of all of them to be accountable and keep track of how we will close them. God bless you. Have a good afternoon and let's enjoy lunch and networking. Asanteni sana.
sinned. Help me find my way. Remember not my sins.
Two. Check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check.
Zile pale chini ndio ile mic pale chini. Si ushapeana nyingine ama?
Standing by your door, knowing that you'll say, I forgive you, I love you, you are mine, take my hand, go in peace, sin no more, beloved
Until they hear. And then they start wondering. Yote inafanyika. Unaona pia the positive vibes ambazo ziko, the positive things ambazo. Lakini Ruto ameweka wakati mbaya. He's dealing with the
Come back to me with all your heart. Don't let fear keep us apart. Trees to bend, though straight and tall, so must we.
Oh, aingie nyuma kidogo.
Nani?
Avoid glare.
It's good to say that we are here. Boresha conversations. They would want to discuss with the government, both at county and national level, and particularly in our ministry. Environment.
Mwambie bwana zima.
Different won't affect all of them, so to understand what benefit from the many government. For example, through KDC, country has been able to achieve, from a stable currency to availability even of the currency, because not too long ago, even if you wanted the dollars, you could not get them. Now we have more than we actually require at any one time for purposes of business. Some of the challenges we've had in the past, including many licenses, a license regime by every county. We've been able to enact the uniform licensing bill, which now has been passed. So we are at the implementation phase. So a lot of the issues that have been cited have already been addressed, and those that are still in the process, we are working on it. Then lastly is also to confirm that last week the President had
a roundtable in Nairobi where we met all sectors across the country and many issues and directives were given. So this initiative is an extension of that, but now at a county level. So we shall be going to Kirinyaga, to Mombasa, to Kisumu, and all the others to listen to the business community, address their issues, and also highlight the opportunities, the business opportunities that are there. Here in Nakuru, we have the Rironi Mau Summit dueling. This particular government project is going to completely transform all the towns between Mau Summit all the way up to Rironi. So from Kimende to Naivasha to Gilgil to Nakuru, Molo, Salga, all those, there's going to be a massive transformation. But it is important that we align the business people so that in their business planning for the next 2-3 years, they also are able to tap into these opportunities. The real return on investment on any government project is the private citizens being able to take advantage of that particular project, increase the output, employ more people, and together we can be able to have a conversation that is looking to address some of the challenges that we have been having. So those are the broad issues we are trying to look at and also to listen to the public. And the county was there to address issues to do with the county, security, and all the other aspects. Okay, so I think the issue of what the government is doing to try and create a stable tax policy, because if you're coming to invest in a country that changes its tax every 12 months and the investment is for 20 years or 10 years, then you are in for a very uncertain tomorrow. So I think we're working on a tax policy, and I think it's for that reason that you've heard the president say that there must be better working engagement between parliament and the executive, so that also we don't introduce changes that negate the very purpose for which taxation is supposed to have. That is in support manufacturing, increase wealth, increase employment, and so on. But in this, we've had a bit of a disjointed situation where government makes these proposals, but what finally comes is completely different. And I must say that has been a major handicap. And we are seeking that there be a dialogue around how can we improve this, how can we avoid that in future, so that when you talk to investors, we can tell them for the next 5 years, this is what to expect. And I think these are issues that are very important in creating a stable business environment. Thank you very much. Okay. Mm. Mm. You highlighted that there might be some people that are affected by the maybe you can the residents of the areas affected No. So for the corridor, for the Rironi Mau Summit, it is not under our ministry, but the truth is we already have a sufficient corridor, about 60 meters. So we don't expect any, in our view, we have a sufficient corridor to build that. But where it is not there, I think there'll be conversations, and I think the government is very much alive to that. But there is enough space. If you drive from here to Rironi, you will realize the space left is very huge. Maybe the issue would be within the urban centers like Nakuru, And I think that's where the conversation of a bypass would be a good discussion. So I think those are good discussions, and we want to encourage the county and Kenha and everybody involved in it. Instead of us talking about it when it has already started, this is the time to engage in those conversations. On the BBC report on child protection, I think it's a very serious matter. And I think the authorities must address it, social services must address it. But I think it's also good to say that, there's also a sense in which some of our countries are, they only get publicity when it's a bad thing. There are 1,000 great things happening around here. And I'm not trying to underrate prostitution, but it is all over all over the world, including even in that place where they come from. So I think also we should not allow ourselves to be distracted. It's a small issue to the extent that it is localized, and even at the county level, it can be addressed. However, it does not mean Mahiu is one big, no, that it's small, localized, and I think I want to urge the county, together with the social services, to address it. Marianne? Yeah. So, okay, as to the issue of vying, I mean, the time to declare those things will come. But I think right now I have a job which I'm very committed to delivering. And we normally say that you're judged for your next appointment by how you perform what you have. So my dream is to do what I can within my space together with my team. Do I remember the third one? Oh, airport. I think we'll work together with the Ministry of Transport and the CS in charge of that area. And I'm aware of the huge importance that the airport plays. So I think we'll work together with the leadership to unlock that. I have a personal interest in the airport myself. So we're going to work on it. Thank you. I think that's good enough. I mean, as a country, no, we are past that by far. I mean, the country is doing very well from FDI. So I think all we need to do, both in the tech world, in the EV, as you have heard here today, there's a lot of interest. All you want is that as this interest comes, Kenyans are part of that conversation. The people of Nakuru are part of that conversation. And that's why we need to align between the FDI conversation and the Wanjikos here on the ground. Because really, Kenya will be developed by Kenyans. And I think that's really the message you want to have. Thank you.
Yes, no. Fiti.
and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down. Down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall